Welcome to Time Slice, where we cut through time one day at a time. Today is July 27th, and it's a day full of breakthroughs, heartbreak, and bold decisions. From a tragic brushstroke to a life-saving discovery, Olympic triumph to Olympic tragedy. This one takes us from the battlefield to the canvas to the stars. Let's rewind the clock and explore what happened on July 27th. We begin in a quiet French village. On July 27, 1890, Vincent van Gogh, tormented and misunderstood, shot himself in the chest. He managed to walk back to his inn and died 2 days later. He left behind over 2,000 pieces of art and one of the most haunting stories in art history. Ignored in life, immortal in legacy. Do you have a favorite Van Gogh painting? Let us know in the comments. Only 6 years after Kitty Hawk, Orville Wright was back in the sky, this time flying for the US Army. He stayed airborne for over 72 minutes, proving that flight wasn't just a novelty anymore. It was practical and powerful. From wind tunnels to war rooms, the future of aviation was taking shape. On this day in 1919, a racial attack on a black teenager sparked the Chicago race riot. The violence raged for 5 days, killing 38 and injuring over 500. It became one of the deadliest events of what's now known as the Red Summer, a wave of racial violence across the United States. A painful reminder of how far we've come and how far we still have to go. Pilots got a new co-pilot on July 27, 1920, the radio compass. For the first time, aviators could navigate without needing to see the ground. Clouds, fog, and night skies were no longer barriers. The age of instrument flight had officially begun. In a small lab in Canada, Frederick Banting and Charles Best isolated insulin for the first time. The discovery revolutionized diabetes treatment and has saved millions of lives ever since. It all started with a dog, a dream, and a whole lot of scientific grit. Can you imagine a world without insulin? In Brussels, the International Geographical Union was created, bringing together scientists from around the world to share geographic knowledge. One planet, many perspectives, united by curiosity. Political unrest hit Chile in 1931, when President Carlos Ibáñez del Campo was forced to resign. He had ruled with a strong hand, but the people pushed back. In the end, even popular leaders can fall when the economy does. July 27th was no stranger to wartime action. 1941, Nazi Germany invaded Ukraine, and Japan moved into Indochina. 1943, over 700 RAF bombers lit up Hamburg in a massive air raid. 1944, Britain's Gloucester Meteor, the first Allied jet fighter, entered combat. The skies were alive with innovation and devastation. The de Havilland Comet took off in 1949, becoming the world's first jet-powered commercial airliner. No more noisy props, no more waiting. Jet travel had arrived for everyone. At the Helsinki Olympics, Czech runner Emil Zatopek stunned the world. He won gold in the 5,000, 10,000, and then capped it off with a marathon win on his first ever marathon attempt. Some call him the greatest endurance athlete in history. What's the most inspiring Olympic moment you've ever seen? After 3 years of brutal fighting, the Korean War Armistice was signed in 1953. It wasn't peace, but it did stop the bullets. And it created a demilitarized zone which still divides North and South Korea today. In Chicago, Richard Nixon was officially nominated as the Republican candidate for the US president. He would later lose that year to Kennedy, but return 8 years later to win before resigning in disgrace. Politics does have its cycles, and Nixon lived them all. NASA's Mariner 2 launched towards Venus in 1962, becoming the first spacecraft to successfully complete a planetary flyby. In just a few decades, we went from sketching the stars to visiting them. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed a law in 1965 requiring warning labels on cigarette packs. It was a small sticker, but a big moment in public health. Then, tragedy struck in 1996 when a pipe bomb exploded at Atlanta's Centennial Olympic Park. 1 person died, 110 were injured, and global security was never the same again. The games continued, but the joy was scarred. And in 2012, Queen Elizabeth II officially opened the London Summer Olympics. The ceremony included music, fireworks, and even a parachuting James Bond impersonator, only in Britain. Famous birthdays on July 27th. 1922, Norman Lear, creator of All in the Family and a titan of American TV. 1929, Jack Higgins, Henry Patterson, British thriller author known for The Eagle Has Landed. Notable deaths on July 27th. 1970, Antonio de Oliveira Salazar, former authoritarian leader of Portugal. 1980, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the exiled Shah of Iran, died in Cairo. 2003, Bob Hope, beloved comedian and USO performer who brought laughter to the front lines. And that's July 27th, a day of genius, grit, heartbreak, and history. From Van Gogh's final frame to insulin's first breath, from Olympic glory to wartime scars, every corner of time has left its mark. So which moment hit home the hardest for you? The brushstroke, the breakthrough, or the bombshell? Tap that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and join us again tomorrow, because every day has a story, and Time Slice is here to tell it.